Good morning and welcome to Bryant Wilson Coffee. I'm Bryant, otherwise known on Instagram as Panama B7. Look me up on Instagram. You'll find some videos on there. You'll find some previews to future shows on there as well. Well, today is Sunday. I wasn't able, if you watch the video that's up just before this one, you'll know why I was not able to record and upload the Coffee Talk Saturday session yesterday. So today's video is going to be kind of a combination of a normal video that I would do throughout the week, and the Coffee Talk session is going to be the second part of this video. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm getting ready to brew using my French press. And I'm getting ready to brew the Malawi. I'm going to make some Malawi for today. And I've got it in my air escape canister right here. So what we're going to do is go through the whole process. I've already got my water over here. The water is hot in the kettle. And I'm just ready to measure out the Malawi. And so I'm going to go through that process. I love these air escape canisters here. To me, there's no better canister. It doesn't compare. So let me go through this process here. And what I'm going to do in measuring out the Malawi here, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the normal ratio that I would typically use. So typically for half a liter of coffee, half a liter of water, I'm sorry, what I would typically do is to use about 33 grams of grounds. I'm not going to use 33 grams today. I'm going to not be making half a liter. I'm going to be making close to 3/4 of a liter, so just under that. So I've measured out 19 grams. That's what I'm going to go with today. And I'll get into the reason why and whatnot when we're doing the Coffee Talk session, perhaps. It's not really important. But so I've got 19 grams. What I want to do right now is go ahead and get these in the grinder. Let me get this out of the way for you. You can see that there's the grinder is on an incline. The reason for that is to help with the retention. So what I found is just putting something underneath this and tilting it forward a bit, because the little slot where the grounds come out is towards the front, but it's on the side, but towards the front. It helps the grounds come out easier and produce less retention. I've actually only had to tap this a few times to get 100% of the grounds out. So here we go. All right, and so I hope that you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope Sunday is going to be a wonderful cap to your weekend. All right, let's see where we're at on this. 18.3. So there's just a little bit more ground there. All right. I can't wait until I get my there we go, 19, and I actually picked up 4/10, so 19.4. That smells good. So that's where we want to be. All right. So I can't wait until I get my better grinder. I'm just going to put it that way. It's going to be a better grinder. It's going to be a heck of an expensive grinder, but I'm really going to enjoy having that. Okay. So what we want to do right now is I've already preheated this French press. So let me just step over here. I've already preheated this. I'm going to get rid of this water that I preheated that with. Just dump that right there in the sink. Okay, now, just because I've got this, let's check and see what the temperature is in there. Came back at 124 degrees. So it's nice and warm in there. It's preheated. We're doing good so far. Okay, now here's the thing. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to measure out 280 grams of water. Let's see, I've got 19 grams. Usually for 250 grams, I usually use between 15 and 17. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and measure out 300 grams. And we've got to be really fast because this water is hot. I don't want to heat up the scale. Okay, I think I went a little over. Okay, that's close enough. That's 318. That's close enough. Okay. Let's lid on it real quick. All right, so the process is really simple. If you've made a French press before, you know the process. The toughest part of the process is measuring out the 4 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, hey Siri, start timer.
I'm listening.
Start timer.
For how long?
4 minutes.
For how long?
4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes and counting.
So hopefully you had a good Saturday. I certainly did. And you know, it's going to be a tough Monday. Mondays are always tough, but we're going to be more ready for it after relaxing Sunday with a good French press of Malawi. One of the Geisha coffees from MZUZU Farms, one of the Geisha coffees of the bourbon variety. And to me, you really can't find a better example of a Geisha coffee. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we've got 4 minutes. Well, probably a little less than that. We probably got about 3 minutes left until this is ready to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I'm going to pick the video up in the studio, and we're going to have a nice little coffee talk session. And I'll see you in a few minutes. And it'll be like that to you. Welcome back to Coffee Talk Saturday. Today, of course, is Sunday. I've already explained that. We had technical difficulties with the internet service provider. And I explained that in the video that is up just before this one, or this video. So what I've done is I've gone ahead, the 4 minutes for the French press elapsed, and I went ahead and pressed it down. And I've got my French press here. Let's get ready to pour. So I hope that you've had a wonderful weekend. And, you know, I hope so far it's been wonderful. My Saturday went fairly decently. It didn't go as fully as expected because of the internet snafus. But other than that, it was a really good Saturday. We had good weather here in Michigan. And it was very sunny. And I enjoyed that. I got out and talked to some friends. I actually went to the local Starbucks. And I spent some time outside there. The people in Starbucks, the workers and baristas there, probably thought it was very odd looking out the window and seeing me sitting on the patio for hours, and I didn't go in and get a drink, but most of them are new, and they probably don't know that I no longer drink Starbucks coffee. As I said earlier, this is Malawi, and I've been drinking this every couple of days all week. I roasted about 120 grams The shrinkage was very low on it actually, and I think I came away with about 110 grams of beans after the roast, and it was a very medium roast. It was not on the dark side, and it was not on the light side. It was right on medium, and the smell is just wonderful. That aroma, you're picking up some woods, you're picking up honey, you're picking up just a bit of bourbon, as you would expect, the bourbon variety. So while that cools off so that I can sip it, let's talk about the coming week. And, what I'm interested in knowing, and I think a lot of the other viewers want to know. I think we all want to just exchange our preferences and opinions. And I'm interested in knowing how you feel about milk-based drinks and how, in particular, you feel about sugary milk-based drinks. Now, I'm talking about things like the caramel frappuccinos that you'll get from Starbucks and the other coffee places. I won't mention the other names, but I'm wondering how you feel about that. Now, for me, my thing was always a caramel cafe mocha with caramel. And with the cafe mocha with caramel, of course, it involves the mocha powder. It involves the caramel drizzle, and it involves the milk, of course. I've tried it with 2% milk, but it just didn't give it enough body. So for me, I have to use 100% milk, whole milk, and it just gives it a velvety texture. And then, of course, is the whipped cream that goes on top. There's an awful lot of sugar in that. And my preference was to have 4 shots of espresso in that. Sometimes I would get extra shots, and I would go all the way up to 6 shots of espresso in that. Give it a nice coffee taste. I don't know how to explain it, but it gives it a nice coffee taste, less on the sweet side. But then when you get down around the bottom of it and you start picking up some of that caramel that has settled down to the bottom, man, that would get sweet. You like coffee drinks like that? When I say that used to be my drink. That used to be my Starbucks go-to drink. And I got to the point where I was able to make it at home, and I really enjoyed making it at home. Let me tell you, it was just a wonderful experience. The thing about it is I've been enjoying these single origin coffees so much until I haven't wanted to add anything to it. I've made a few flat whites, and those came off really, really well. However, milk-based drinks just aren't my thing. I like viewers. What would you like to see next? Would you like to see some videos on the Barista Express machine? Would you like me to start the series on the grinders, or would you prefer that we just continue to kind of mix things up with the coffee beans as we go through the next couple of weeks? Let's see if this is cool enough now. Not bad. Now this is not as clean of a cup as the pour over. All of the flavors are still there. The aroma is still there. The aroma I'm picking up a little more earth tones. Low-lying woods, low-lying florals that you would find in the woods if you were deep in the woods. So I'm picking those up. The honey is still there, but the honey flavor has it's not as high up on the palate as it was during using the pour over method. So there definitely is a difference in some of the florals, some of the tastes and flavors, I want to say, and some of the aroma, the florals, a little more pronounced using the French press method, which is the immersion method, as opposed to the pour over. Even though this is not as clean of a cup as the pour over, it still is a relatively clean cup. And I just wish that, I'm going to do something pretty soon. I think you can see that there. I'm going to do something pretty soon to get another camera system where I'm going to be able to give you a top-down view with a much higher definition, and that's coming up. We're gonna have the ability on this channel to do some sophisticated stuff. I can promise you that. That's coming on this channel. So stay tuned for that. As I'm looking down into this cup, what I'm thinking about, and I'm using the same grind size across the board for the pour over and for the French press. Same grind size, that has not changed. What I'm thinking is that if I let this cup sit for another 5 minutes, two things are going to happen. One, it's going to get cold, and I don't want that to happen. But the other thing that's going to happen is that it's more of the solids are going to settle down to the bottom, and it's going to get even clearer, and it might reach the clarity levels of the pour over. But what I'm looking at when I say the clarity, that does affect to a great deal the strength of the cup. And with the pour over, I don't know why, but for some reason, and I know that there's less solids, this is proven. I know there's less solids in the pour over because of the screen than there is in the French press. However, I'm getting as much strength, body, I should say, as much body in the cup from the pour over as I'm getting in this. But the difference seems to be in the notes. And so I've got to figure that out. Because the pour over, I definitely get more of a honey flavor, a honey note, and I get more floral notes, more woodsy, more woods notes in the pour over than I am getting in the French press. As I said, in the French press, now I'm getting low level florals and more towards the ground in the woods type of an aroma than I was getting in the pour over, where I was getting more. It was more like you were in a thinner, less damp forest where you're just smelling the trees and the bark and that kind of thing. So, I don't know what your preference is. I like both the pour over and I like the French press. I think I'm more a fan of the pour over now as I'm getting closer into the Geisha varieties because the one thing about the pour over is that while they both take pretty much the same time, but there's a little more prep time involved in the pour over. The thing about it is that, like I said, you're getting a cleaner cup, and I really am a fan of that. For some reason, I don't know what it is. It has nothing to do with the body of it. It's just the idea that I can look down and see through the cup, and that just amazes me. So look, we're coming to the end of the broadcast time, I guess. I'm trying to keep these under 20 minutes. In the comments section today, if you will just comment to me, let me and your fellow viewers know, what is your preference? Do you like the pour over method? Do you like the French press method? Why? What is it about each method that you like or you don't like? And just leave a couple of lines of comments in there and let us know. Because I think it's a good topic. And these are topics, by the way, that we can dive deeper into in the future. We go through the comments, and then I'll put a little, on the community page that'll be coming up pretty soon. I'll put a little survey up there, and I'll let you know, I got X number of comments for pour over and X number of comments for French press, and which would you prefer to have an in-depth series on it. And so I'm going to end the broadcast today asking you again to leave in the comments your preference, pour over or French press, and why. And, let me add this, does it make a difference which coffee you're using for which method you choose? For instance, this is a very expensive Geisha coffee. I just don't think that I want to use a French press for something this delicate. I think the pour over method has attributes that match the attributes of the Geisha bean. And so I think that this coffee matches the pour over method. How do you feel about that? Would you use a French press for, let's say, your Colombian Supremo and not your Panama Geisha? So look at it from that perspective if you wish, and leave your comments. I want to thank you for joining me on another episode of Coffee Talk Saturday. This is the second episode. I want to look forward to the third episode. And the podcast is for Saturday, August the 14th, recorded on Sunday, August the 15th. And hopefully I'll be able to upload the full video on Sunday, August the 15th. I'm Bryant for Bryant Wilson Coffee. Thank you. Please like, dislike if you didn't like, but participate by picking one or the other. And if you did like the video, if you liked the previous videos and the previous content, please subscribe. That's what we're going for. Have a good week.